So I'm joined now by Rabbi Michael Shivek, and he's here to talk to us about his new book, Adam and Eve, Marriage Secrets from the Garden of Eden. Rabbi Mike, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
So, why do we even need to have this conversation? What is going on with the relationship between men and women? That it has come to this.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I mean, you have over 50% of divorces, all right? You have latchkey children. You have an amazing nightmare with, especially after feminism. Not that feminism is bad, but you have women who are overworked. They're super moms. They're exhausted. They didn't have babies when they were young. Now they're re-engineering their bodies to have babies. The more powerful women get in business, the more men act like adolescent boys in order to hook the attention of mommy. You got these very strange, twisted relationships going on, and everyone's missing something. They're missing the traditional marriage, but they don't want any of the garbage that went with the traditional marriage, all the roles and all the authority systems and all of that nightmare.
Yeah, we don't want to live dogmatically.
You don't want to live dogmatically, but you don't know what to substitute it with.
So what do we do?
Well, all I know is I had
Help
that,
us!
I had that problem.
You did?
I had that problem. I'm a between generations kind of late 60s, 70 marriage. I had plenty of restrictive, nice patterned roles, came from good marriages, and then the 60s and the 70s happened and everything got changed upside down, and I was trying to balance the two sides of my brain. And I didn't know how to do it. And I've been married to a wonderful woman, Teddy, for a long, long time. And we've gone through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different marriages to try to balance all of these things.
Wow. And so what conclusion did you come to? How did you work it out?
I don't know. I all of a sudden it hit me that that how the Bible is interpreted, which is where a lot of this traditional stuff comes from, is upside down. That the whole story of Adam and Eve was not about guilt and women being submissive and men being dominant and all of that guilt. It was the opposite. That the story was about what you don't do to have a fallen marriage. In other words, it wasn't about, yes, you're supposed to be married to a wife and dominate her, and she's supposed to be submissive, and that makes a happy marriage.
As simple as that seems, my wife will never go for it.
That was your classic religious thing.
That was our paradigm.
That was the paradigm. It was just the opposite. When you aren't connected to, shall we say, God or reality, and God, the G word, causes a lot of people for problems. I don't want to get into a debate about what the G word is. But when you lose your connection, your spiritual connection to the design of reality, that's when all the problems with the dominance and the submission and the men and the women and the fighting and all of these things that are in that blessed paradigm that we were given, that's when they come in. And so you have to, the solution that I found was I had to create a spiritual order to my marriage that worked. Okay? Mm-hmm. And it had to be designed in a way that was different than I had been taught. But when we did it, then the biblical story made some sense.
And this is not Leviticus rules, structure.
The structures in Leviticus, if you just apply them, you're going to go crazy. You're going to go out of your mind. This is like 2007.
So this is more a karmic click, a flow.
It's a flow. In other words, basically the premise is men aren't the power, women aren't the power. There's a power that's bigger than either men or than women. And then when...
Is it a 4-month-old baby? Because
they're the most powerful of all. But when you click into that power, when men click into the spiritual power, which most people call God, and women do that, and husbands and wives are both saluting the true power, then the communication between them is in the right order.
Okay, so explain to me how that takes place. I mean, this is not
I'll give you an example.
Kneeling and praying.
I'll give you an example. It's one of the rules from the book. There's 25 rules in there. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have an argument with your wife. You want to do something. She doesn't want to do it. Let's suppose your wife has an argument with you. She wants to do this, but you don't want to do that. So usually what happens is you'll badger her, she'll badger you, and you'll both be fighting back and forth, and this will go on for days.
Have you been bugging my phone?
I have been bugging your phone. I've lived it.
Yeah.
The answer is a spiritual solution. both of you remind yourself, as it says in one of the chapters, that you're dust. Okay, that you're created out of dust. You're humble. You say, okay, guess what? I don't know enough to get an agreement with you at this moment in time. And your wife says, well, I don't know enough to have an agreement with you at this time. Maybe we both don't know enough to find the solution. So you both wait. You know, if you're a good Christian, you'll call it waiting on the Lord. Mm-hmm. Okay? You both wait. You humbly wait and you say, let's just wait and see what life brings us. Every single time you do it, 100% of the time, Chris, you will be sent. It can be advice. You'll meet it. You'll get the advice from the supermarket checkout person. You'll get the advice in the strangest things. Life will send you the knowledge that both of you need to solve the problem, okay, and get your agreement together in a way that neither one of you could think possible, because you're not the power. When men assert God's power as their own, it's a problem. When women play passive-aggressive in order to assert their power, to hook men in order to get what they want, they're playing God too.
But this goes against our whole proactive culture. Make your day a special day. Go out and make something happen.
Exactly. It goes against the mistake of religion. Not against religion. The mistake of religion, which is the same mistake you get in governments, the same mistake you get in authoritarian systems, whether they're in marriage or in schools, which is authority is not us. There is a reality here. We all are part of a creation that is that whether you believe in evolution or don't believe in evolution, it doesn't make a difference. We both believe it's bigger than us.
Yeah, whether you believe that God has a gray flowing beard and a bunch of laws, either way, the universe has an order.
The universe has an order, and it's larger than us. And if you learn how to click into that order, you learn the ropes, the spiritual ropes on how it's designed, your life and your marriage can get organized according to these principles.
Do you think we spend too much energy trying to shape the energy of the universe rather than flowing with it?
Well, again, we try to control something, and there are certain things that can't be controlled.
My wife, your wife.
Which ourselves, okay?
Yeah.
We can't do that. We have to learn how reality is organized. And when you live according to how reality is organized, that's what religions classically call covenant.